The big boob. Would you?
There you go, Richard. Beyond Good and Evil's playable now.
I see it. It just popped.
Let's go.
Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary Edition is playable now if you have Ubisoft Plus on Xbox. Is that in Game Pass Ultimate?
I don't think so. I think it's additional cost.
You have to pay separately for that?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, is this going to drive everybody to Ubisoft Plus subscription?
No, not for one game. I won't.
No.
This is one of those that I have the trifecta of. I have it on PS2, Xbox, and GameCube for some reason.
It's the only way to have it.
Did it ever get a physical, like, 360 or PS3 release?
No. Not for the remastered.
This is one of those that I have the trifecta. Okay. Mine, just to recap, because it hasn't happened in a while until Jeremy let us know the other day, but my mic is the only one that drops, right? You guys are always good? We figured that out?
Maybe.
Usually.
Okay, so if I pop it on, I don't have to have audio from y'all. As long as I'm saying something, I can hear the stream, then I'm okay-ish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Okay. Thanks for the recap. What the hell is Ubisoft Plus? Ubi Plus. Ubiplay Plus. Is this the thing I did in the Chrome browser?
I know it's their subscription service like EA Plus. You get I think it's on PlayStation and on Xbox. I think it's like $11 or something like that a month.
In addition to whatever else?
Yeah, I think they got a deal with Sony that does like their greatest hits. It doesn't do everything from there, so it takes like some of their catalog in there. And I think for Xbox, it's just an additional charge. I don't think it's not included like EA Play.
Get access to the latest Ubisoft titles as soon as they release and over 100 games on PC. Oh, the Scott Pilgrim game's in there. I just finished the first volume of that comic today. Some of that hasn't held up all that great. And he's kind of an asshole.
I mean,
or is that like a known thing?
He's going under after an underage girl, so that's also a thing that people bitch about a lot.
Yeah, his first girlfriend's 17.
Yeah.
It is noted though that they've never kissed. They've only hold hands once.
That's true.
So
the story's bonkers. I like these just random fights that break out.
Because I'm watching the animated thing on Netflix.
The new one? Is it good?
Different. Oh yeah, so far.
Yeah, it's a different version of it. It's like an alternate universe.
Yeah, he was on that, that podcast that I talk about, the My Perfect Console. They had Bill O'Malley, Brian O'Malley. He was on there talking about his 5 favorite games, but also like I was talking about the press circuit that they seem to do. I knew he's got that new show coming out. Super Mario World was one of his favorite games. I think Streets of Rage also, which is where that Scott Pilgrim game gets its roots. I did not see Beyond Good and Evil in this thing.
I think it's a stealth release. It looks like, according to the tweets, only the Xbox version.
Okay, and I'm probably looking at all the PC shit, aren't I?
Yeah. I don't think it's supposed to be out yet.
I want to play that Avatar game, too. All right. You guys ready?
Yeah, I saw. Did you read that article from GameSpot where they said like they had like 400 different was it for the PS5 version? It's like for the my brain.
On the Avatar game, I did not read this article, so whatever information you have on it, I'm curious about.
What do we call those things in the R2L2? My brain is
the haptic feedback.
The haptic
feedback. They have 400 different types for that game or something like that. Some ridiculous hundreds.
Go on.
Types. That's all I was reading an article about. They said it's like it's several hundred different types of haptic feedback for that game.
That's so crazy.
For the triggers and everything.
When it's used right, it's so amazing. Built into the PSP, young Brant. If I can get a case, it's going to make an appearance.
Soon.
People are getting that Skull and Crossbones case or whatever it was.
You can't walk down the stairs with it?
I want to get it to a place where you can also partake in its greatness.
Oh,
yeah. And not just be barebacking it on the streets.
Bareback.
That's the right term, isn't it? Without protection.
Jump that man.
Without protection.
Jump that man. He has a PSP. He has a new PSP. Jump him.
I gotta fix the Twitch stream.
Oh.
It always comes up with Just Cause. Are there that many people streaming Just Cause? Or Just Dance 2014?
Always.
I think just when you type in just chat, trying to type in just chatting, it's what it wants to give you.
Yes, it is. There are that many people throwing down on some Just Shapes and Beats or whatever that was. Fear not, Brant. It hasn't made it anywhere since last week. Still have the PSP here. You said you have a 1000, right? You have a 1000 and then the Go? And I don't own a 1000. I have a 2000 and a 3000.
It was thick boy.
Yeah, I haven't messed with one of those since launch.
I got a 2000, 3000 as well.
Some people love that 1000, but I always had the weird screen. I was sensitive to the screen on that one.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
The screen is.
But it felt more like a Sony piece of tech than the plastics of the 2 and the 3. I remember a friend of the show, Strop, when that second one came out. I saw his and I was like, oh my god, this thing's amazing. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Born ready?
Die ready.
Diuretic?
Just two.
Let everyone know they're being recorded. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 282 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast premier video game podcast. Tonight, Killer Instinct's new anniversary edition. That didn't get a question mark. New arcade version of Virtua Fighter 3, question mark. That gets one. How did we get a new Virtua Fighter 3? Dragon's Dogma 2 gets a release date. That's important. I think that game will be up my alley. I haven't played it yet. What game just passed an important milestone, question mark. And we have a new title for Nintendo Switch Online Plus. I don't think I have that Dragon's Dogma story pulled up. I'm one of your hosts, Richard Bergman, with incomplete stories pulled up. I guess I'll do that right now and make sure everything's in order.
Yeah, I added it maybe, I don't know.
Oh, Brant. Time to move it over. Where's it behind? Virtua Fighter? Okay,
yes.
My news is now in order. I'm going to try to make it through the show. We pushed it back from last night. Thank you, vigilant listeners. I got some messages like, where's the show? My throat.
Vigilante listeners.
Yes. Now we're talking. Is that what we call is that our fan group?
Vigilante.
The Vigilante 18s. There's only 18 of them. I've got a cold of sorts, and my throat was not great yesterday. And I thought a delay would be a good idea, and it was worse today somehow. So just bear with me. I'm going to try not to do a whole lot of reading of the stories. We'll let the other stories take over. Might be a brief show for sanity's sake. I'm one of your hosts, Richard Bergman. That's the sick voice that you hear. I'm sorry I didn't finish my introductions. Joined tonight by Newsmaster Brant McKee.
Should be relatively quick. Short, brief, light news week.
He built short news stories to take pity on me. Thank you, Brant. It's very kind of you.
I was hoping you were going to say by the seashore.
We wouldn't give Newsmaster roles to just anyone, so thank you for being very considerate with your selection. Also, that voice you heard in the background, Cesar Concepcion II, our resident lore master and page master.
Hello.
I see some F-Zero news coming through as well. I know you guys actually played that. I need to fire it up and put my name in the hat.
I want to jump back on there.
Well, there's some new updates that just got announced.
I mean, they're getting ready to cancel it until you play it.
Yeah. Be nice to get a physical copy like I did the Tetris one.
Pac-Man?
Yeah, I got a Tetris one.
Tetris.
Did they do a physical copy of that Pac-Man game? I got the Tetris one because at the time, that was a cheaper way to get that than Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah.
I was like, sure, I'll get this. It's no big deal.
It was interesting just for the hell of it. I know when I was looking through all my Switch stuff, when I downloaded that F-Zero 99, I still saw the Mario 35 on there. It's like, oh, just for the hell of it, let me see if this even boots up. It does. It'll take you to the main menu, but then you try to do anything, and it says, sorry, this has been discontinued.
Great.
So it's like, okay, delete.
Video games these days, right?
Yep.
It's weird you mentioned that. You remember Flappy Bird on iOS and Android? Or maybe it was just iOS.
Yep.
Like, I've never deleted Flappy Bird, and you can't install it. I've got a iPhone 8 or something somewhere with it still on there. But, like, in my games folder, it's always there, like, ready to be downloaded again. I have Flappy Bird on. It's not on there, but it's ready to go. That guy was, like, too successful too fast and then just pulled the game from those app stores. That was wild. Did we talk about that on the show? Have we been around long enough to...
I know it's come up in conversation.
We've been around long enough to have remasters of remasters, so there's no telling. Or remasters of PS5 patches or whatever. Cesar was telling me about this one on Steam. Cesar, do you want to take the Killer Instinct's new anniversary edition? And did the Steam Path to Victory play out like you had mapped out?
It did. I'm downloading it now with the free DLC.
Nice.
So this is from VGC from Jordan Midler. Killer Instinct is getting a new anniversary edition and a free-to-play version. This was done over a stream ? Not too long ago.
It says during a live stream to celebrate the 10th anniversary.
Yeah, and I think Iron Galaxy came back and wrote in the blog where they clarified it a little bit more. During the live stream and 10th anniversary, Killer Instinct Basic game will be free to play on console and PC, feature one free weekly rotating fighter as well as a single-player local and ranked modes. $30 Killer Instinct Anniversary Edition will include all $29 fighters with premium content. The currently available Killer Instinct Definitive Edition will be retired from digital stores and replaced by the Anniversary Edition. All purchased Definitive Editions will be upgraded to the Anniversary Edition for free.
Get you some of that Anniversary Edition.
Caveats here. The Killer Instinct Anniversary Edition won't include the Definitive Edition app, which featured developer interviews, concept arts, as well as the standalone versions of Killer Instinct 1 and 2. However, owners of the Definitive Edition will still be able to access this content.
That's good.
We're also retiring all a la carte purchasing of individual fighters and various editions. Remember, anything you previously purchased will remain in your library and you'll have access to it. Iron Galaxy wrote in the blog explaining the changes.
So they did this the right way, essentially. Was there Killer Instinct 2 or is that just gold? Did they call 2 gold?
It was released as gold. Yeah.
The N64
on the home consoles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, if you go by the Retronauts, like 10 years, it's been 10 years, right? That's a retro game. It's bizarre to think Xbox One and PS4 launching retro platforms now. It's just, it doesn't, I don't know if I go by that connotation. How do we feel about the 10-year thing? I also read 2 generations back. I feel like that's a little bit closer. Like a PS3 I would consider a retro console. It used to be like, does it need a different display type to properly be played on? But that's not the case anymore with upscalers and all that sort of stuff. It's a pretty cool upgrade. I never played this, and I remember when it came out, it was like one of the exclusive things for an Xbox One when it launched.
I follow a couple like independent Japanese VTubers that they're very big on Killer Instinct. So like as soon as this Anniversary Edition came out, they started firing it up again.
I also always thought of it as a Nintendo property, so it's yeah. And then I think we talked about a couple episodes back when 3D fighters have kind of been distilled into Mortal Kombat, Tekken, and Street Fighter. You kind of have the Virtual Fighters and the Soul Calibers and Killer Instinct kind of on the outside of those. When they, I mean, you have a big anniversary update here that hopefully gets supported. And
I mean, Richard, your fan favorite General Ram made this a Microsoft product. So
that's true.
When they added him.
That's true.
Yeah.
And they put, it was Master Chief, but it wasn't Master Chief in Dead or Alive. Dead or Alive's another one. I forgot about Dead or Alive. Did everybody else forget about Dead or Alive?
Never did.
I mean, I love me some Dead or Alive games also, but when was our last one of those?
The Xbox Series console is a Dead or Alive box. You can play every version of Dead or Alive on it, so I never forgot. This maybe except Extreme Beach Volleyball may be the only one, but everything else.
What's a dedicated Dead or Alive box, would you say?
The series
consoles are Dead or Alive machines?
You can do everything but the volleyball game, I believe. You can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Through the Ultimate, the backwards compatibility with the Ultimate SKUs. God, I remember when those games came out. They looked so freaking good. You watched it in movement, and it was like, oh god, this is something else.
I know for a fact because I have them all installed on my.
You have them on the series consoles.
Yeah. They're a live box. It's like my PlayStation's a Star Ocean box. Every version of Star.
All the Star Oceans.
Yeah.
I don't know why a series hasn't taken. I mean, maybe this is the new model. It seems like fighters are trying to find a model with which to succeed, but it seems like Tekken, Mortal Kombat, and Street Fighter just kind of plug away. They have similar, like, single-player modes, and there's an adventure mode and all that. Don't they kind of have a similar season pass structure and all that sort of stuff? Why these other fighters seem to struggle with that? I mean, with Namco, you're going to have Soul Calibur's not going to get the resources Tekken's going to get, right? I think I read somewhere the last one that was like 10-1 or something.
Yeah.
Resource-wise.
I mean, you're right. I think the only ones that don't have a free-to-play version is what, like you said, Tekken, Soul Calibur, unless it's like a standalone game. Mortal Kombat. I know Dead or Alive has gone through their core fighters, where they do a la carte, buy what you want.
Was that Dead or Alive?
I think, yeah, Dead or Alive 5 and 6 all had like a free tier version where you can buy what you want with a free version of the game. So that's the only, this and the Killer Instinct, the only three that come to my mind that I can think of at the moment that does a la carte fighting. Because even like King of Fighters has all been one SKU, and I can't think of anything else. Tekken's always been one SKU outside of a couple of like online only ones here and there.
The anime fighters like the Blaz Blues and the Dragon Ball one was big a couple years ago.
Yeah, but I don't think they've done a free to play version of that one. I think Guilty Gear's the same way.
We went down on Twitch for a minute, so I was trying to figure out what was happening there. You may have to pull your feed back up because it was down. It says it's down on this channel, on this restream thing too, but I pulled it back up on my phone.
Huh. Pull it back up on the phone.
Next up, another fighting game. This is the fighting game episode. Rank your favorite fighting games. We'll stay tuned to the end of the show, and we will be ranking our favorite fighting games. Probably not, but
no.
Virtual. I thought this was super cool. 25 years later, Virtua Fighter 3 is getting a new arcade version. This comes from Andy Robinson at VideoGamesChronicle.com. In Japan, says Brant. Brant's clarifying. We cannot just go play this. Brant, I thought we were going to meet up tomorrow and have a little mini tournament with the three of us.
That would be awesome, right?
We can't do it. The publisher announced on Saturday that Virtua Fighter 3 TB Online will be released via its all.net arcade download system on November 28th. Virtua Fighter 3 TB Online builds on Virtua Fighter 3 TB, which was released in 1997 as an upgraded version of Virtua Fighter 3. Online will keep the balance of the original game, but, as its name suggests, add online battles and rankings. Alongside the game, Sega has launched a website where players can check their results and rankings in the new game in Japan. Sega's fighting series hasn't seen a mainline installment since 2010's Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown, which was later released on 360 and PS3 in 2012 and made available via minigame in 2016's Yakuza 6 for PS4. In 2021, Sega released a new version of that game, Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown, for PlayStation 4. I remember downloading that on I think it's still on my PS5. That was a good version. I think we all bought the DLC, didn't we? Didn't we pay for some DLC, the little $5 or $6 one to chip in there? I think I did.
Yeah.
Ultimate Showdown includes updated graphics, new online features, with development being led by an all-star team from Sega AM2 and, I'm going to butcher this, Ryuga Gotoku Studio, the Yakuza people.
Ryuga Gotoku.
Thank you, Cesar, for clarifying. That is an all-star team. This was originally, I mean, I know it was an arcade game, but this came out on Dreamcast, right? I think that's where I have the copy of it at.
Sounds right.
And
I'm going to pull a Brant. I'm pulling a Brant. I'm doing it.
Do it.
And we don't have, there's no like Virtua Fighter collection, right?
I got it from Richard's favorite store. Look at the sticker.
Rhino. Yeah, mine probably came from Rhino. Yeah, because I don't think we got a native version of 3. I think we only got that 3 2B for consoles. I think the rest was arcades. Because Virtua Fighter 2 came out on everything.
Yes. Put it on consoles, you cowards. Then put it in arcades.
Oh, this is a Twitch replay. This isn't even the live thing. Something's happening. We might still be downhill.
Put on a best of.
The best of NOFODcast. Just play the playlist.
Oh,
Yeah, just put on a
It
best
looks like
of.
it keeps.
Put it on
Looks like
shuffle.
it keeps cutting in and out for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know what's
I
going
don't
on with
either.
it.
Internet's fine. There we are. All right, I think it's up. We've been up for 6 minutes, so it's after I made that first correction. It just I was playing back the wrong one. It'd be nice to get a console release of this, right? AM2 and the Yakuza Studio. That'd be awesome to get or a Virtua Fighter collection. I would pay.
Yeah.
I would pay $100 right now for a Virtua Fighter collection with all of them on there, on playable on new consoles.
What would you do?
Same thing with Dead or Alive. All right.
Let's hope that's coming down the pipe.
That'd be awesome. Speaking of what's coming down the pipe,
Oh, I see what you did there.
like that segue.
That was a great segue. He is referring to Dragon's Dogma 2, which was announced last year, but now we actually have a release date. This has kind of been out in the ether where
Richard.
Capcom.
What?
I'm
What?
sorry, I have to interrupt because I got my YouTube ad right here for Sunday
Uh-oh.
Ticket, and it tells me like even Jets fans got to watch out of market. Like, how did I'm not a
Ouch.
Jets fan? How did it target?
Ouch. Why are they throwing shade at the Jets people? They didn't ask for this season.
Why am I a targeted Jets fan? I've never seen a Jets game ever.
Wait, Winnipeg
unless
Jets?
it's playing against the
Winnipeg Jets?
The lesser known New York Jets. Well, your favorite quarterback of all time that lasted 45 seconds in the season.
Zach Wilson? He lasted longer
That
than
works
that.
too.
He lasted longer than that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a very specific targeted ad, Cesar. I'm sorry you got subjected to that.
Yeah.
Did they have one of those
I need to
surveys?
quit.
You know, sometimes they're like, this does not pertain to me. Can you
Yeah, you click the little dots on the
Mhm.
side of it.
Can you throw that in
I was
there?
just want
Or the question mark. Is there a question mark on
This
the
ad was
side?
offensive.
to let you know. Yeah, I want to let you know when I log off here because I can't continue anymore.
So it was rumored that Capcom had a game coming up that was unannounced
In Japan.
to be released sometime in the very, very near future. And people had already put together that it was going to be Dragon's Dogma 2. And as of today, they did a dedicated product showcase. And we got the official release date as March 22nd, 2024. Capcom also provided an overview of the story and an introduction of some of the central characters and quest details.
Is there anything in that March window
Dragon
yet?
Dog-
Thing starts to get busy. I guess it's
Next year's kind of crowded. February's
I
like
was about to say-
crazy.
Already, I know February is packed with some
what
stuff.
do we have
so-
coming right off the rip? When's Princess Peach?
You got 7 Rebirth at the end of February, so
Mhm.
February 29th to be exact.
That
I think a lot of those Nintendo games are right there in that February, March. All those, like the Donkey Kong, the Princess Peach. Gosh, what was the other one?
Oh yeah, the Donkey Kong minis.
Wait.
I was like, what Donkey Kong game?
Yeah,
minis.
The GBA remake of Mario versus Donkey Kong. I guess I should have clarified, not just Donkey Kong. We never did get that rumored 2.5D Donkey Kong
Nope.
yet, so
Yeah.
it'd be nice to have that pop up somewhere.
I mean, I'm looking at the game release list. March is not that bad. Right now, the only ones announced is Unicorn Overlord, Dragon's Dogma 2, and Princess Peach Showtime.
It's gonna start filling up though. March ends up being crazy.
Now, February's the one that's stacked because you got Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, you got Persona 3 Reloaded, Suicide Squad,
Yep.
Helldivers, Banishers, Tomb Raider 1, 2, 3
Oh,
Remaster, Mario vs.
forgot about
Donkey
that
Kong, Star Wars Dark Forces Remaster, Final Fantasy
Yep.
7 Rebirth. And then in January, you have Alone in the Dark, Bulletstorm VR, Prince of Persia, another Code R, Recollection, Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, HAL, Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney Trilogy, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Tekken 8, and then Richard's favorite series of all time, Rugby 24. Rounding out January.
Oh, so only have like a month and a half to play Rugby 23.
Yeah.
It's probably leaving Game Pass. It's probably one of those that just stays in Game Pass. I bought a rugby game for PS2. I never played it though.
So yeah, so far March is good, but that's near the end of the fiscal year. So if anybody's gonna fart off some releases,
So January is the brutal one so far.
January, February is
gauntlet,
rough.
Yeah. All right, what are we getting with this Dogma of the Dragons, young Brant?
So let's see. Dragon's Dogma is a tale of the Arisen whose heart is taken by the dragon, said Hirabayashi. He's the series producer. While this sequel mirrors the world setting of the first game, the adventure takes place in a parallel world. Pre-orders for PS5, Xbox Series console, and PC, I believe via Steam, start today as recording of the episode. Available in a standard and deluxe edition. This does not detail
what you get with the
what
deluxe.
You get.
That was my follow-up.
I was about to say, there's probably with OST, a game like this, it's going to be a soundtrack. You might get some gear or some kind of armor, horse armor, maybe some horse armor. Who knows?
Hell yeah! Give me that horse armor. I'm going to the pre-order site. Let's see if I can tell real quick.
Yeah, pre-order site can tell you.
Yeah, they do say that. The game was announced last year during a live stream of the original game's 10th anniversary.
It's a bunch of items.
VGC got a hands-on with the game and says it feels a lot like the first game, and that's a good thing. So,
yeah.
What do we get?
A whole bunch
Richard?
of items. It's like a camping.
Just a bunch of just a bunch of
Explorer's
items.
camping kit. 1500 rift crystals.
Yeah, Richard. I mean, this is multiplayer, but like Richard, come into my Explorer's camping kit. Look at this shit. The extra $30 is sweet.
All right, so sorry. Here's what it gets you: a special camping kit becomes available for purchase at shops in game. You still have to buy shit. Dragon's Dogma music and sound collection. Item: you get a wake stone, a harpy snare, smoke beacon. Emits a scent enticing to harpies. Heartfelt pendant can be offered as a gift.
Finally.
The Art of Metamorphosis, the Ambivalent Rift Incense, and the makeshift goal key to the Gaol.
Yeah.
Gaol, Gaol. Is that like a portcullis or something? Goal. Makeshift. It's a makeshift one, but apparently it's gonna. And then of course
we have Gal at home.
Yeah.
The Gal at home is a makeshift.
Look at my reading.
Yeah. I don't know what that term is. I've never read that before. Thought it was a typo, but then it doubled down on underneath there. It's like, this is the key to the Gal.
It says the meaning of Gal is a chiefly British spelling of jail.
Jail. That makes sense. So I should have been saying jail the whole time.
Why do we need a key? We just go there for free for commit crimes, right?
I mean, not if you're in your tent that you paid extra for.
Hey man, I'm gonna invite you to that tent. You treat that tent with
key to the
respect.
jail. Will it let me in there if I haven't paid the $30 extra thing?
I mean, you can't buy your own tent, but I'm sure you can jump in other people's tent.
Has anybody played that first Dragon's Dogma?
I have.
I'll watch some people playing it.
It's been so long since I played it. But
yeah, it broke like in all sorts of funny ways that made it look like it would be super entertaining, especially as a stream. It was a Kotaku stream. I think I was watching way back in the day. Dragon's Dogma 2. Next up. Oh, I didn't read this article before. Somebody have an update on this Sands of Time remake? That's interesting.
No, that's not how.
I was going to say the whole article. The whole article is basically about how the how it's been canceled and we haven't gotten updates. This is basically the Prince of Persia team coming forth and letting us know that it's been 20 years since the original tale of Prince of Persia: Sands of Time was released.
Has it been 20 years?
Yes.
Ugh.
I found that pretty hard to believe.
I mean, we're old, and I find it very believable.
And their update.
Except for Brant when he was probably like 1 when that game came out. So.
Oh my gosh. They did provide one update. As you know, the passionate team at Ubisoft Montreal is reimagining the legendary story. And we are glad to announce that today that the project has passed an important internal milestone and development is progressing.
They finally beat playing through the original.
Yeah, what is the milestone? We don't know. And of course, the article talks about when we first saw the trailer, and then it went back to the drawing board and everything like that. It's just kind of a rehash of the entire saga of this game.
It's seen some ups and downs, because that first trailer they came out with, everybody's like, I don't know about this.
They looked like it looked like a beta PS3 game, or like a really off-brand Wii game or something.
Like they sent it through some sort of AI upscaling, and it just didn't. Like, no, that wasn't a good pass. This is not gonna go.
Yeah, which was unfortunate, because, like it says in this article, later it was being developed in an Indian studio. I guess they didn't do too well since they patched it back to Canada. So
brought it back to the OGs. This is it's available on Steam. It plays on Steam Deck, if I remember right, without too much finagling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
I believe it's verified actually.
And then I believe the disc is playable on the series consoles, or you can buy a digital copy. So it's available and it still holds up. It looks and plays fantastically, and the music's awesome. But we'll see this turns out to be. 20 years have passed. I can't believe that. This was like formative game release for my friend group at the time. There was a lot of like drooling over screenshots and looking forward to what, the new spin on Prince of Persia was going to be. And then we got like sequel after sequel after that. It was wild. And then nothing. Well, the movie tie-in game, and then the reboot with the cel-shaded stuff, and then that's been it, right? And we finally get a new one in January.
Yeah. The
side-scrolling one.
Yes.
All right, last but not least in news. So that's our absolute favorite rare game from the N64. I've heard him refer to it as the crown jewel of the N64 library.
As long as it's not Banjo-Kazooie, man. I fucking hate that game.
Wow, you put this above Banjo-Kazooie?
No, I don't think I've ever played this game. I refuse to.
It has. We're of course referring to Jet Force Gemini. But I believe they patch like two analog stick support to the 360 version, or that the rare replay one. I think it's way more playable. This one's hard to control.
I don't know if I even fired that one up. I think I've seen my brother play it.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is not a good game, and I never played it. I think Renee might have.
Renee has entered the chat just now, so Renee, please tell us about your experience with Jet Force Gemini.
Renee, I think you played Jet Force Gemini on the N64. It seems vaguely familiar.
That is, of course, coming to Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion service. We're getting it this December. Japan is getting it November 30th alongside GoldenEye, so they didn't get GoldenEye until now. And weren't you saying, Cesar, that this is the first time GoldenEye is released in Japan? Maybe I read that somewhere else. This release is the first time ever Jet Force Gemini has been made available on Nintendo's digital platforms or services. It was also previously featured in the Rare Replay collection for Xbox One and added dual analog support. Okay, I thought that was a feature behind that one. Because it was hard as shit to control on N64. Brant, any Jet Force Gemini love?
I don't know. I do have a boxed copy back there. I have not, for a game I haven't played.
Flexing on the box copy. Is that your copy, or did you find that somewhere?
No, I found that somewhere.
Yeah, I feel like I remember you showing it off at some point for Games Acquired, the Games Acquired section.
I enjoy it because it's got like the Blockbuster sticker on there. So it was
It's got good reviews. I'm looking at it on the Wikipedia page, surprisingly.
It was in that era of N64 games that when I was looking at early PS2 stuff, it was not that impressive. Like it didn't have that scale and scope of what we just had with like the Zelda games and even Super Mario 64 still, and this was one of those, and Donkey Kong 64. I know it gets a lot of crap for being a collectathon and all that, but it looked really, really, really good. And and Rare was just like, I mean, they were the ultimate. The N64 is a way, way worse console and library without Rare's support for sure. Perfect Dark, When my good friend had the PS2 after it came out, we still played way more Perfect Dark than we did anything on the PS2 at the time. And that was multiplayer. That wasn't like totally just graphic stuff. And we still dipped into old school, but that's good that it's out there. Was Jet Force Gemini showing off in their sizzle reel of N64 games, or is this a new surprise?
I was at
Right.
I'm about to say it. I don't think it was ever shown.
We went
off.
down that list a couple weeks ago, and I think 1080.
Brandon, I want you to read the first comment in that article. The very bottom.
I already closed.
I
I closed out of the news too.
Give me 2 seconds. I'll pull it right back up.
I'm curious now. Something struck SR. It's gonna be madness.
Yeah, it's always I'm an agent of chaos. You know that.
First,
Dreamcast better or something like that is gonna be a good callback.
There's the comments. There's a comment. Come on, load.
Dead air.
I see 119 comments.
Damn.
Yeah, it's
That's
there.
what it says.
Who's that article
People
sourced
love
from?
some Jet Force
I don't
Gemini.
think I said anything.
It
I
was
want it.
Nintendo Live.
Nintendo Live.
Liam Doolin.
Thank you, Cesar.
All right, I'll just tell Brandon. It says on here.
You need to, yeah, I was about to say, it says you need to log in to comment, but it won't.
All right.
It just won't let
Give
me
you the
look at the
comments on
comments.
Nintendo
What the
Live.
hell?
First comment from Grumble Volcano. Great name. This isn't 1080 snowboarding.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was about to say that is the last
Because
game.
we got all the
right?
Mario parties.
Yeah.
Are all the Mario parties
I have
out?
to remember Mario. Yeah, remember like for months people bitching like, "Where's Mario Party?" Which was
Yeah,
the 3?
I think.
The one they were holding out for longest. Yeah, like yeah.
We'll get into games played. I'll be extremely brief to save my voice.
Oh, store your voice.
Been playing more PSP.
Store for a cause.
So that's where I'm sure you saw me. You saw me on there over the weekend, the long holiday weekend.
Oh god, PS.
Man, my Final Fantasy 16 clock's up to like 36 hours. I've been plugging away at that game.
Yeah. You're almost past me.
It's flawless on that PSP, man. So I joined the PlayStation Portal subreddit, and I put up a picture of I just have soccer on in the background, and I'm playing PSP as one does, a floor away from my PS5, and then there's so much discourse about this console, and Reddit's a pretty good. I mean, it gives you a good overview of just about everything, right? The highs and lows of something or information you need. I think it's a good distillation of information. Is that the right term? So joining that, just reading over people's stuff, this thing has wildly different results for people based on their setups. It's just like, some people return them like it's unusable for me. And I thought that was going to be my case when I started with it. Right there in front of the PS5, I was like, man, this thing sucks. This is exactly what I had ever experienced with remote play. I do not enjoy this. And I'm wondering now if like my xCloud stuff might improve with that network change. But talked about last week, I made that switch to the 5 gigahertz network, and it's been flawless. But I put up that picture, and people were asking me, like, what's my setup? And that's what I like from Reddit, is like bouncing ideas off. Because there's people that are genuinely frustrated. First off, you can't find the damn thing. They're like lining up at Target early in the morning because they see Target might get a shipment. It's in high demand somehow.
Yeah.
And so
those third-party sneak attacks from the Walmart, which is like $4.99 when it's like it's on sale for Walmart. Click on this $4.99.
Yep. And but people are having wildly different results, and so I've been able to give feedback and stuff, and there's other conversations that have kind of gone off that picture that I've posted, but people are playing off of hotspots, and like mine is. Cesar's got the wired scenario, which is probably the most ideal, but I'm on that 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi spectrum, and it is. I told someone, they were asking about lag and stutter and stuff like that, and I said the best summary I have for it is in a 3-hour block, I may have 3 to 5 seconds every hour where the gameplay tells me like you're streaming something, you're not playing this locally. I'll have a stutter, or I'll turn Clive around in Final Fantasy 16. And it will just
artifacts.
What's that?
They'll start artifacts.
Yeah, there will be.
I'll
see artifacts that's like, okay, I'm not actually natively watching this, and then it's right back. Like I haven't lost anything. I didn't lose a battle. I didn't miss any story bits. And that's 3 to 5 seconds every hour. I think out of all that time, and I know your network depends on it. That's gonna gauge a lot of your experience with it, but I'm playing so much more PS5, and I legit, I'm going to finish this game up, and I'm going to plow. I'm going to go straight into Final Fantasy 7 Remake before that new one. I've been threatening to do that for a while, but I'm playing so much more of my system now with that. You know, I can just fire it up so easily. I love the interface. Like, you pop it up, and it's giving you that jingle, and you're looking at that orb thing, and it's like, and sometimes it takes 10 seconds to make a connection. Sometimes it takes like 45 seconds. And it'll tell you, it gives you a little audio cue. It's like, ready to play. And then you just connect. And all right, if I have 10 minutes or if I have 2 hours, and it just, it's so convenient. I know it's limited in its scope for what it does, but for what it does, it seemed to do really, really well. And it got me. I texted SR today because it's not a Black Friday special on PlayStation Network, but it's like a end of year. Yeah. And I'm like, man, I'm looking at digital games like I wouldn't have looked at before. I'm looking at them all of a sudden. Like, this is something that I can stream. I can have it sitting on there and I can stream to it. And I know everybody's playing Alan Wake 2 now. And so I downloaded Alan Wake Remastered on there. So I might give that a go. But it's so convenient having all those options. We played a good bit of Warzone over the break. We got 2 wins last Saturday. No, we were winless Saturday. And then lunch.
We got wins
Friday?
Like the previous Wednesday?
Yes.
Then, no, we won Monday.
Monday, back to back.
Back to back, because we're going to tell Brent the Groot is the key. Yeah. When we're all Groots, we were winning with no issues.
Brett.
We came in second, the third one.
Brett, pay for the Groot. Pay for the Groot, Brent. The Groots were undefeated the first two drops.
It was clinical, man. It was not even a contest. It was like 4 against 1 almost every time.
It was clinical. And outside of Warzone and streaming Final Fantasy 16 to the PSP. I guess I need to catch up on Final Fantasy 16 just briefly. I just got one of the last icons. So Clive has kind of been absorbing icons as he progresses through the story. Those are like the summons from previous games. So like Ifrit and Shiva. One of them, I don't know. It seems like the story is headed to a point where he's going to have all of them. And there's a major character in the story that he's very close to who is in possession of one of these. And I'm just not sure. One of them just resolved itself. That's the most recent one that I got. And it was a little bit awkward, but to say the least, between these two characters. But I'm not sure where this is going, so we'll have to see. But it does seem to be coming to a head at this point. And I'm still doing all the side quests. Like, if a side quest pops up, there's one guy who has an icon that's just kicking my ass every time. And there's every time I meet this character, he's whooping my ass. And the character that was with me for this last ass whooping just gave me their icon in a beachside cutscene, I guess, as it were.
But isn't it strange, because you're at the part of the game where, like, I felt super powerful and you'd be in a fight with him and you're like, I'm kicking this guy's ass, and then all of a sudden it goes to the cutscene and he's like, oh, I can't defeat him. And it's like, what? I was kicking his ass, man. What are you talking about? He bests me
in every contest. I don't know what to do. I'm not good enough. Because I actually looked up the villain at this point in the game. He had like a build up. They'll build up to a special almost, and then you get a special meter. And if you can knock down the boss or whatever, they won't unleash this crazy thing on you. And he did it to me, and I had never failed one of those before. And I was like, what did I do? I was kicking his ass. Like, I can't attack any faster than what I was doing. And then it seemed like it was in the story where you have to lose, like Brant was saying. I was like, man, I wasn't ready for this. I was handling this cat.
That is the most common RPG trope, JRPG trope in the world, because I literally do that in Xenoblade Saga, Chronicles.
Yeah.
Where I did a new game plus, and I'm like maxed out levels, and I one hit killed this guy, and then like, oh, I'm about to lose. I was like, there's no way I hit him once. He was instantly out. So it's the most common trope, man.
I had probably the coolest boss fight that I've done in the entirety of the game. Clive's using the icon Ifrit, and Phoenix is alongside. And Phoenix is like a character that is closely related to Clive. And then we're fighting Bahamut, like a big dragon thing. And it was just...
That was a cool set piece. That was a really cool
I talked last week about the impressive scale and... like a place I visited, you could just see across this giant. It was like the world's creation area, and you could just see all these features and castles, and there was a giant waterfall, and there's a desert behind me, and everything's just the scope and scales rendered so beautifully. And then this battle literally takes you to space, like you were in outer space doing all this, and it just. And I wasn't playing on my OLED. I was playing on the PSP, and it looked gorgeous. It looked so good. That is probably this might have overtaken Ratchet and Clank for most beautiful game I've ever played. It's graphically, it's just phenomenal. I cannot wait for more in this universe. It's going down as an all-time fave. But I didn't get into any retro or anything. I think we were gonna play Blitz on Thanksgiving. I didn't get in my annual tradition of Blitz. I'm still craving some NFL Blitz at some point. It's got to happen.
I sent you an Ollie's ad with the arcade one-up Blitz.
I wanted to go get that shit. It's got 4 sticks too. Oh, that would have been awesome.
At some point it'll be like 150, and then everybody will come.
I may agree with the missus to get rid of my broken full cabinet and swap it out.
Yeah,
swap it out with that one. Give it to an enthusiast that can do something with it and have a working one. But then I have all 3 of those games on 64 and 4 controllers and all that, so it's just, I don't know, it's one of those. It's a collector conundrum, right? But that's it for my games played this past week.
I won't spend too much time on mine. I mean, I've put in like 6 or 7 hours in Alan Wake 2. That's it.
You still playing on PSP?
Back and forth. Console.
You talked about having to figure out the touchpad thing, so I was wondering if that solution was still working or if they had managed to patch it or something.
Yeah. No. I mean, it works. You just have to hold down. I mean, there's 2 touchpads effectively on that touchscreen, so you have to hold down the left one and then double tap the right one, and it replicates what it needs to do. Once I got into a thread where somebody properly set it, because it wasn't in the instruction manual, because there isn't one for the PSP, and then there's not these games coming out now. They don't have that ability yet. Like, hey, if you're playing on this device or you're playing it this way, you may need to do this. So, I mean, it's still a new product. Hopefully, they'll figure that part out.
But yeah, another thing I discovered, I don't want to cut you off. Apparently, the bandwidth on the PSP is like capped at 7 megs per second. Did you see that in any of the threads poking around? Like, it's no matter what your speed really is, it's that the internal chip is not even like a MIMO one, and it's like Wi-Fi 5, but it's or it's a MIMO Gen 1, whatever that is, connectivity wise, but it's capped at like all the traffic that they were mapping on their network was 7 megabits per second. So I think they want you to have 15 internet wise for streaming and such, but apparently that's all it's able to handle.
15 upload. Yeah. I think it might just be, some of that is, most of it is probably because they wanted to go cheap on it, and some of that is probably for stability.
Because the PS5's handling some of that processing power, right, to send it to the other device. So you have to allocate for, Anyways, I read that, and it looked like someone with more networking knowledge than I have, and it didn't seem like it was, Xbox is better. Look, this is only 7 megabits per second. So you have to look at that kind of stuff on threads, So I took that as
But I mean, that's why some people have good success in running those on hotspots, because usually hotspots are not your fastest speeds.
So. Right. And if you're on a hotspot, you probably have less Wi-Fi congestion around you, is what I would assume, just being in that environment. So they've had luck with those.
Depending on your cell service
that too,
provider,
another factor.
Yeah. I mean, I'm at the part where I've kind of talked about it briefly last time, where you start out the game as Saga Anderson, who's going to Bright Falls to investigate a cult killing, where they ripped out the heart of, is it really Nottingham? Did that just finally hit me? Because I think I think that's who it is. I don't know why it just finally hit me now that's the name of the guy. There was no way. Yeah, it is fucking Nottingham. Okay. Yeah, is it?
This is the character that got their heart cut out?
Yeah, well, I mean, no, it can't be. There's no way. I'm getting mixed up with something else. My brain
is the town Nottingham?
Town is Nottingham. But I'm not gonna. I digress. So basically, the person who got his heart stabbed out is a former FBI agent that originally investigated the Alan Wake case previously, who's disappeared for 13 years. So as Saga's going through and investigating this cult killing from what they call the cult of the tree, what she notices that like it's weird that a cult usually doesn't refer to themselves as a cult, but this one does, and sees these little idiosyncrasies throughout. And you have like in the background an Alan Wake frantically typing away story where Saga's reading pages and it's like narrating what's going to happen next, and she decides to follow the story. And so in a surprise, Nightingale, that's the name of the guy. Nightingale. I don't know why Nottingham jumped in my head. My brain's kind of all over the place this afternoon. Nightingale, where he becomes part of the Taken, and you see some weird shit like the sheriff was going to provide her more pages, and he disappears randomly, and then basically she goes back and follows Nightingale into Cauldron Lake, where the events of the first game ended, and she gets pulled in the in between, and she brings back, when she gets out, she kills Nightingale and brings back Alan Wake. He doesn't know what happened. He has no memory of what's going on, and it goes to a part where they take him to Bright Falls, this hotel, and they kind of start questioning him. And so he realizes that he's been told that he's been missing for 13 years, and he didn't realize he's been gone for that long. And then he goes into this whole bit where he's breaking to the pieces of his memory he remembers and start telling from his side, so you kind of flip to his. And so her gameplay is more of like very survival horror. It's third person, kind of like Silent Hill, Resident Evil. There's a lot of fucking jump scares, kind of like the
a lot of
Call
them.
of Duty Halloween event where you open up the fucking chest and just something screaming in your face. That happens a lot in that one too, when you get to different.
That
areas.
never failed to make me jump either.
I finally got immune to it after a certain point.
A million times going off.
His side is the same way. He's fighting these shadows, but it's more linear. It's not open, kind of like on Saga's side. And his is more trippy. Like I just went through a whole bit where he keeps repeating going to this talk show where he's talking about his book that he never wrote, and he doesn't have any recollection of it. And he's in like a dark version of New York where he's trying to get back to his old apartment building to find out what happened to his wife. And so right now the story is kind of like divulging where Mr. Scratch from the first game is still trying to find a way out. But apparently he became a version of Alan Wake. It's like his doppelganger. So you don't know what's kind of going on. There's a lot of stuff moving around. It's like he doesn't remember what's happening, and he's recalling some of the stuff he did in the dark places, what he calls it, and trying to figure out what got him out, and it's what's still trying to get him out there. So you have like a Saga, and then you have Alex Casey, which is her partner, which is also the fictional character he wrote in his books. So there's a lot of shit on here that's like none of this is making
these
sense.
threads are all interwound.
Yeah. So you can't tell what's real and what's not. And then not only that, what's funny is that I keep running into stuff from the Control game. So like there's a Federal Bureau of Control station outside Cauldron Lake recording what they call weather patterns is what they say. And then I keep running into the janitor from Control, who was a main character in there. He keeps popping up in there and telling me where to go. He keeps telling Alan Wake where to go. And it's the same fucking janitor from Control, the one that's bending and twisting through dimensions and stuff like that. And I don't know where he ever came from in that first game, but he's in there too. He's just in there just singing and doing different songs.
That's awesome that their worlds are connected like that.
Yeah, so far this is the only things they've pulled from those games. Alex Casey's like a freaking spot-on recreation of Max Payne. He does like the facial expressions with a smile and everything.
It's Sam Lake,
and
right?
It's like
is that Sam Lake's character?
Lake also. Yeah, he's also Alex Casey, and it's funny because like he's doing like the smiles and nods, and he's a cop, like a hard boiled New York cop, the same exact voice and everything from it's everything but the name Max Payne.
So it's like straight Remedy-verse game.
Basically, yeah, everything but Quantum Break. But the main character from Quantum Break was Sean Ashmore. He's the sheriff in this game, so
it is in it. So. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, but he's not that same character, but they brought him over. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I think there's some kind of
still have that IP or something.
Yeah, I think the IP's still tied up with Microsoft. I think they only bought Alan Wake from Microsoft. They never bought the Quantum Break. So I mean, there's a lot of I don't know what's real, and then they keep running. Like people from that Bright Falls keeps running into Saga's like, oh, you're back, and we're glad you're back for so long because remember you and your daughter. And she's like, I'd never lived in this town before. So there's like so much like random ass X-File esque Twin Peaks like random shit happening here. Like she's just playing along because like she's pretty good. She's like a profiler, so like she has like a mind palette similar to like if you ever watched the new versions of Sherlock Holmes with Benedict Cumberbatch. Was it Cumberbatch? Yeah. Where he has a mind palace where he stores like that's why he keeps all his immense knowledge from because he creates a location. He stores all his information in there. He can pull it. That's why he can remember everything. And she has something like that, and she uses that to map out her cases. So she's very good in inference, and she can look at like witnesses and like know what they're hiding immediately. She's a good profiler, very good. And so I don't know what's going on, man. There's a lot of moving parts in here. I still don't know what's going on, but it's enough in it to pull you along because I think when you do Alan Wake's part, he like does everything story based. So like if he comes to a tunnel they can't get past on there, he changes the story. He'll type up another story, be like, oh, the cultists were doing summoning here, and then the cultists were murdering people here, and I'm looking for a missing FBI agent, and it redoes the whole area to give you different access to that area. His story kind of changes to what he needs to do to move on. So I mean, his whole shtick is like trying to write a story to get out of the dark place. He didn't realize he's been in there for 13 years. He said it feels like months. But he's been stuck in there for a long time. So so far it's pretty good. I'm not sure where it's going. So I'm still lost because now I'm at the part where I got to go to this amusement park called Coffee World. So I can get a key to go into the trailers to enact a part of the story that Saga's trying to enact that Alan had that apparently leads to the location of the clicker because he needs a clicker to finally defeat Mr. Scratch.
In Coffee World.
In
Take me to Coffee World.
Yeah. Outside of that, I mean, I'm dabbling with other stuff here and there, but nothing to really talk about. So.
Have you played any of that Star Ocean remake? I guess Star Ocean Second Story remake.
I got like 3 or 4 hours into it.
I saw a demo.
Yeah.
I saw a demo for it. I was gonna download. It's not quite to the sale price. I wanted to support Star Ocean, but.
It's a good recreation of the PlayStation game. The demo, I think, I never played it. I saw somebody online was talking about it. I think they give you 3 hours. It's like the old school PlayStation demos. You get 3 hours, or you get to a certain point in the story, or you get to a certain level, and then they cut you off. And then you carry the data over. I never did the demo, but I think that was the whole shtick.
I got you.
So, but that should be enough to give you
a taste of if I want to continue.
Right.
Yeah.
I do like the 2.5D engine. Is very neat. So it is.
It
is a nice recreation of the PlayStation game and modernized version of it.
The aesthetic looked more natural to me than like the Octopath. I know those are very popular, but something about the sheen of them is just kind of off to me. But this looks like the right mix.
Well, the Octopath has always done like those 2D-esque type games, like those 16-bit RPGs. This one is definitely the PlayStation era 32-bit, where you had that because when you did the original Star Ocean on PlayStation, because I've been that many times, because you had 2D characters and then it was a full 3D world. So this one does that 2.5D, and I think is a good balance that works in that 3D world, because you can turn that whole camera around the whole area you're walking around, and it works very well. It's an interesting take when they could have just done the straight 2D flat around as like Octopath or anything else. So I think they did a pretty good job with that. I think that it's a very good celebration of the anniversary of Star Ocean.
See how that looks.
Too, so.
And that's like revered as like the best one. I think is the second story.
Yeah, because I think the one on Super Nintendo was it had several. I mean, the biggest thing on that was the different endings. But I think the one on PlayStation, Star Ocean 2, was the one where like you can get a team of like 8 people. And depending on the combination of who you beat the team with, I think it was like over 80 endings. That was like the big sell factor. Like, there's so much replay value in this game, you can get 80 different endings, depending on who you beat the game with. So
right, coming off like Chrono Trigger, doing the same type thing.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's it for me. I'll kick it over to Brant. Wrap it up for us here.
I guess I can start with games
acquired. Our favorite segment.
I just have 2 that came in from limited run. I got the Gargoyles remastered.
Okay, I forgot that even came out.
For Switch. And you got the physical copy of Castlevania Advance Collection.
for the PlayStation 4 and Cinco. Oh, Black Friday. Did anybody grab any Black Friday games? Speaking of games acquired.
As far as Black Friday goes, I haven't really gotten anything else.
I partaked in Richard's Need for Speed.
Yeah, we got the same game from Walmart for $15, and that was it. That was the only thing I saw jumped out.
Only thing I bought, yeah.
I haven't seen anything for Black Friday or Cyber Monday that just like really jumped out, and I was like, "Ooh, that's such a great deal," and I'll just jump up. No,
and nothing I'm gonna play right now. Really... Like Sonic game was $40.
But I mean, there was nothing. There was nothing really that great on sale because I mean, shit. Even like Resident Evil 4 was like $39. Usually by this time it's like $29 or less. It's like they were very like conservative this year on their sales prices. So.
Oh yeah.
Not even. Dead Space remake, that was like what, $34.99. By now I would expect it like 24 or less. I was like, I'll just 20. Yeah. So I was
kind of on Game Pass now too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, by now that's usually when you would see a lot of those go to at the lowest 19 for some of those games, and like you said, maybe 24 or 29 on some of those games that have been out for a while, like Dead Space or any of those. And hell, I remember Black Friday's past, going to places and getting a stack because you got all those games marked down that much. And this year is just
standing in front of the end cap with
those bins,
the bins with the ad, like, all right, yellow stickers $10, red stickers $15,
rifle through 'em.
Loading up.
Hey, I still remember me and Richard going to GameStop to get a Far Cry Primal. For some reason, we had to have it.
That was you dragging us along for that quest. This out of print. We won't be able to find it anymore. I was like, sure, let's get a used copy of Far Cry Primal for PS4 for $4.99 or whatever it was.
Probably the worst version of Far Cry.
It's like a inverse map flip of, 5? With the mastodons and stuff. Like, it's the same map.
Yeah, I think was it after 4 that came out before 5? I think that's like they didn't know they needed something to come out with, and they came out with Primal after 4.
Okay, it's 4 then, not 5. I was thinking, before the American. It was like the American Central America thing for 5.
Or the Colt shit, and then 5. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Black Friday purchases.
No, it's all right. I don't know why. Well, I guess I do know why. Over the holiday, I guess just because it was the easiest thing to throw in my pocket, that PSP Go came with me a lot. And for whatever reason, I just kind of globbed onto Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep and started one of the story. Because that's the one where there's like 3 different main characters and you could go through each one of their stories.
How does that play on PSP?
And it actually plays really good.
How good it looked when it came out.
It plays really, really good, and it never ceases to impress me at just how good it looks and functions on this device.
Everything is squeezed onto that UMD.
Mm-hmm.
But the handoff on that is doing the same thing with 3 characters, right? Aren't you essentially rehashing the same missions or levels with the 3 characters?
It kind of jumps back and forth, and you might do the levels in different orders, and you will have different things to do in the levels. One character, he thinks he's doing the right things, but he's not really, where the other character goes behind him, and she's kind of she is the one that's like going behind him, and eventually they meet up in one level, all 3 of them, and he's like, oh yeah, I've been doing this and this, and he's like, I've really been helping. She's like, no you haven't. I've been to a lot of the places you have, and I've seen. I don't think you understand what you're doing.
Are they like multiverses story wise?
No, it's just the same, still kind of Kingdom Hearts thing. A character drops in a Disney property, Disney World property. It's not like a multiverse kind of deal.
Brian, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's the one I gave up on because that's the one where they encourage you to beat 3 times, right?
I was about to say that is the one Cesar has never beaten.
I beat the first. It's like then beat it with the other characters. Like, nah, I'm not doing this.
Good. What Disney universes are in this one?
Lilo and Stitch.
There's Lilo and Stitch. There's
that was my favorite one.
Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, Peter Pan.
Because I think this is a prequel to the Kingdom Hearts game.
Oh yeah, it's a prequel to the first game.
Yeah, so it's like they kind of kept it old school to, I guess, to flesh out the story.
It was a design choice.
You find out
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's like a Disney, what is it? Like a Disney amusement park thing. I forget what they call it. Disney Town or something Disney like World. That. It's like Disney Town.
Disney World.
It's like, what are you setting us up for?
It's Disney. No, it's Disney Town.
Disney World adjacent.
Imagine if they made a theme park, just Disney stuff.
I know, that would be crazy, right? But it's, I don't know. It's just got its hooks in me. Because there is a grinding mechanic to where in this one you get different and better moves by, you start out with one command and you level it up, and then you can meld different commands together to get something different. So I always wind up in the weeds of looking at, different commands and what's the best stuff and what's the best way, best combinations to get to that attack, quickest, and then you just start.
And it's a portable game, so you're able to take it everywhere and level up and all. And it's built. I mean, it's built for that, right? It's built to go back in your pocket and break it out and knock out a couple of the grinding sessions.
I just got to the part where the character that thinks he's doing good, he's in the Neverland, and he runs into Captain Hook and Smee, and they basically kind of hoodwink him into helping them protect the treasure. And so when Peter Pan comes around,
there's no Rufio then? Looky, I got Hooky.
No. Which Hook verse is this?
So when Peter Pan comes around, they're like, "Oh yeah, he's the boy that's giving us trouble." And there's literally a command at the top right before you fight Peter Pan. It just says, "Put Peter Pan in his place," and that's that's the thing that has gotten meme status from the game.
Did you mash the button?
So I just put Peter Pan in his place.
Yeah. Did you stuff the alligator or the crocodile in the middle of the town square?
No.
Back to Hook.
Hey man, I watched Hook so many times, man.
Have you met Julia Roberts yet?
It's a good.
That's my definitive Peter Pan too. So
people shit on it, man, but I love that movie.
Soundtrack, everything. Dustin Hoffman is fantastic. It's like born for that role.
Other than that,
some Warzone. Were you needed by the Groot?
I was about to say, still playing some Warzone. Our
Groot.
I know the win that
Team Groot.
The win that I posted to Twitter. I think you reposted it.
I retweeted it.
You re-X'd
I have
whatever it is.
I have Blue Sky invites. Do you want a Blue Sky invite, Brant?
Blue Sky? What the hell's
the
Blue
Twitter
Sky?
alternative when we all leave the Twitterverse?
It's made by the creator. It's made by the creator of Twitter.
Nobody leaves Twitter.
I mean, I'm still there, but
let's say nobody really
it's like a backup
leaves.
plan.
I give it time until somebody's like, "Oh, subscription," and it's like, "Oh, I fucked up," and then it goes off the subscription or subscription for all.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen. He's gonna be like, "Let me test the waters."
There's been so many Twitter alternatives, and they've all fizzled. So.
I mean, this one has the most Steam, I would say, so far.
Yeah,
it's up to you. It's up to you, Brant.
No, Steam has Steam.
It's like Gmail too. You can only get in with invite.
Oh God,
it's vetted. Yeah.
Oh, you mean like what was that?
Or Facebook in the beginning.
What was Google's social media that they did?
I remember that. Places? Did they call it Places? That's not. Nobody jumped at that. It's not ringing a bell.
Not Google Circle.
Was it Circles?
Google Circle.
Yeah, that sounds closer.
That sounds. But I remember, that was invite only for a while.
I mean, everything Google.
Yeah, Cesar got me in Gmail a long time ago. Name shoelace.
Google Circles. That sounds right.
It does.
Google Plus Circles. I don't know. Google Plus. Google Plus is what it's called. Before everybody started using Plus.
Yeah, everybody has Plus now.
But I think it was called Google Plus first because it was done in 2011.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was a while
Google Plus
ago.
social network launch. June 28th, 2011.
It was before everybody started putting Plus in there.
Quickly abandoned.
2019 is when it went down.
Yeah, it lasted 8 years. Yeah, I still use it as my login for more.
Well, they force integrated it into like YouTube and everything.
Mm.
But yeah, I remember our one win from Warzone that Wednesday was crazy.
Did
like
play
I said,
Wednesday.
You posted it, reposted, retweeted, whatever. And it was a round where we literally had just survived the whole time, and we're running from place to place, getting our stuff, swimming. We wound up in the Radaway below the what is it, the waterworks or whatever it is, the castle.
Yeah, everything's like reddish and
we're-
bluish and orange under there.
Mhm.
It's one of those castles.
And we saw where the final circle was going to be. We ran out into the parking garage and into a stairwell, and we're all in the and we've all got durables, and we're pretty much determined to be like,
Let's wait it
all
out.
right, well, let's just wait it out. And then we start hearing a bunch of movement up the stairs. Richard takes off up the stairs, and I start hearing gunfire, and he's like, I'm down. And like I start going up the stairs, I turn
Remember
around,
this
go
one
back
now.
down. Me and Cesar are just kind of like looking at each other. Cesar goes down the stairs. I'm like, well, screw it. I'll go up the stairs. I run into the guy that had killed you.
This is a good clip because I'm defeated the whole time. We've been getting our asses handed to us, and I'm like, we tried. Second place. It's fine. Second place is okay.
Yeah. I start shooting him. He backs up. I close the door, set a claymore down, and back up so that I can reload. He opens the door, and he's down by the claymore. I'm like, yes! So I go behind the wall for a second to load up on plates, and as I'm finishing plating up, I'm running up the stairs. There's his teammate. So I'm like, surely I'm going to die. But I shoot him. He winds up going down. I go ahead and kill him. I turn the corner. I guess his teammate that originally got down didn't have a revive. So I run over there and start beating the hell out of him. He dies. And then the circle had already closed in. My mask, I guess, had already broken. So I beat him, and then all of a sudden I'm down.
You see it break in that
And
clip.
I'm just like crawling on the ground, and I hear you guys yelling about, you're like, oh, this is gonna be second place. Oh wait, Cesar, get him, and talking about Cesar was shooting somebody in the back, and the guy turned around and like immediately.
Oh, that
downed
was
Cesar.
it was Lilith from Diablo, right? He was in a courtyard.
Yeah.
I'm watching his feed while I thought you were dead this whole time. So Cesar's shooting this guy in the back, and he like vanishes behind him and murders him. I'm like, how did this? What? You hear it in the clip? Like, how did that just happen?
Hey, I'm fighting those characters in Alan Wake 2 where they just ride the shadows and appear behind me. I'm like, okay, I guess that just carries
Yeah,
over.
but in
another
Warzone,
properties
I've
as well.
never seen someone move like they did on.
There were some would play today with friend of the show Russell, which we kept coming in second, where people were like sliding in magically and killing me as they're sliding through. Like it's like John Woo just sliding in.
Tired of those jumpers and sliders. Yeah, like
And then-
how do they know
well,
we're
the-
there? How do
yeah.
they just slide in and know
I
we're
did-
there?
Russell was telling me like, "What the fuck was that?" I'm like, "I don't know, man."
I did see something about they're looking into some kind of glitch that allows you to sprint while prone or something.
I saw that too. Yeah.
So that could be what's going on. Is there's
That's
some
definitely
hinky
killing
glitch? But yeah, that's going on. I'm on the ground. I'm watching the ticker go down for my revival thing, and I just sit there and watch it until it goes almost out, and then I go ahead and revive myself. And I mean, as soon as I stand up, Richard's damn it, second place,
Gave it
and
a
then
shot.
all of a sudden it just goes Warzone, first place.
I think you hear me go like, "What?"
You're like, what, Brant? What?
Oh man, we needed that victory, man.
Get a clip. Always Richard. As soon as the wind comes
Get a
up, get a
clip,
clip,
get a
get a
clip.
clip.
What happened? I wish I'd gotten one of that freaking Lilith vanishing behind Cesar. I was like, what just happened? And then he's like an instant murder. Like, how did this happen? Melee'd in the back or something. I don't know. It's just like,
Yeah.
We should all be playing Dishonored PS3, and we would never be disappointed because it'd be
4 frames per second.
I've noticed that too. You go down really quick getting melee'd because I've been in the water with people with a pistol or something, firing directly at them with the pistol, and they just get right up on me and hit me, melee me twice, and I'm.
It doesn't work
down.
like that for me.
How am I shooting you?
It doesn't
in the
work like that for
face?
me.
I saw that with Richard, man. There was somebody who was meleeing him, and I sat there melee somebody for like 48 minutes, and it's like it took me 40 minutes to take him down. They took like 2 hits for Richard, and he's down. I'm like, I don't get it.
Oh, that was when we were swimming in the water, wasn't it? Yeah, I was shooting them.
I mean, I went behind you, and I'm just like, when it's like forever, they get you like 2 hits
immediately. Yeah, 2 hits, and you're
all
just
shields.
floating.
Like, what do you have? What do you have? What did you equip somehow that sucks? Like, how does this happen?
Other than all that, I still have been rocking the Super Mario RPG remake, which is it's an absolutely amazing game. This game has so much. I've been saying it that it has so much charm and personality, and I really hope that this game does extremely well and does really well for Nintendo, and they consider making a sequel to this game several years
Might
later.
have been John Ricciardi or somebody with 8-4 play. Like, it's not, you don't just snap your fingers and convert to a new title, but he's saying like all that work's done, that engine's there, it's in place, just go ahead and keep that team on there.
This was done in Unity from what I heard, so
Unity for
keep
life.
them on it.
But I say they might have to switch engines if Unity goes crazy with all the stuff that they did recently.
Talking about doing. He resigned and all that. I don't even think I think that resolved itself before we could even talk about it on the show.
Yeah.
They walked it back. I think there might be some caveats for the new version of it, but it's not required. I think it's like
they walked it back, but the damage has been done. Their stock had fallen, and people left. And
I mean, who is it? Who is it? Richard John?
It's almost like Ricciardi, but he is a good person that works for A4 Play, not the famed EA exec that put boxes at what do they call them? Loot boxes and all that stuff back in the day, including Mass Effect.
You guys just need to play like the No More Heroes for the art, like the indie version of that game. I forgot what it's called, but not the numbered ones, but like
Travis Strikes Back.
Like Suda51 talks shit about him all through that whole game. Like he does like a pseudo name about him. Like it's
really,
like, you could tell it's John something, but he changed his name because he gave him so much hell in the Shadow of the Damned. Like he told him to change so much shit in that game. You can tell like he did not like this guy. Like there's a whole bit in there where he kind of like talks shit.
Forgot that was an EA joint.
Yeah, he was in that. He's like a anagram of his name is in there as a character who's like an evil villain in the game.
He's an exec.
Trying to change.
Is he like a record label exec? Yeah.
It's like you need to change this and that and this, and then like, Travis is like, "What the fuck?" So I was like,
crazy.
I still remember it to this day that Travis Strikes Back because I want to play this. Like, it's fucking hilarious. You know who?
Why does anybody hire him? Like, why would you hire this person? We need income. This person knows how to flip a buck. Put the loot boxes in my game.
Nobody will hire Andrew House though. We need a small.
Or Peter Moore anymore. Peter Moore left Liverpool. He's not with Liverpool Football Club anymore.
Yeah, but he did what he needed to do, right? He won a champ.
He did.
Right?
European Championship.
Yeah.
Former Dreamcast exec and Xbox exec, and he was at EA too, wasn't he? Wasn't he the Madden guy?
Yeah. We're GTA 4 tattoo.
That's right. That's right.
But I progressed through the story. Mallow has 100% joined me now that I help him get back his coin. He was able to buy his yes, the frog. He was able to buy his grandpa a cricket pie, which we then delivered to him. And shocker, we found out Mallow is actually not a frog. He was delivered there he found him. He found him as a baby and took him in. So he's gonna go with me and try and find his true home. We also fought a sword named Clay Morton. and got a star, a piece of star, which at the time didn't know what it was. But obviously, you know, most Mario games have stars that you collect. Yeah. And you find out it's a piece of, I think there's 7 at the beginning here that you have
This
to
is
collect.
called Legend of the Seven Stars, or did they not use that subtitle for this one?
No, it's just
RPG.
a Super Mario RPG.
Yeah. My cartridge says Legend of the Seven Stars, I'm pretty sure.
We then continued to a town that needed our help. There was a bunch of arrows falling from the sky. It was paralyzing all the little toad people as they were walking through the town, and we fought that enemy. His name was Boyer. He was a bow, and in doing so, we joined up with Gino, who is a puppet. Because when we originally got to that town, there was a little toad kid playing in the inn. He was playing with his toys, and he had a marionette kind of puppet looking guy named Gino that he said is the best. He's the most powerful. And then
I don't think I got this far.
Through some magic, a little twinkle came through the window and possessed Gino,
like
and
Pinocchio
now
style.
Yes, and now Gino is alive, and he's actually a guardian of oh gosh, what did they call it? Basically, the things that make all the wishes come true broke apart when the giant sword fell from the sky, broke it apart into the 7 stars. So he's the guardian of that area, and he's here to try and collect these superstars. So he's gonna join us.
Join us, Gino. Gino Bowser. For Smash.
Gino is actually really powerful, really good.
Him and his special beam cannon, right?
Yeah, and we get these like trio moves where you can fill up that meter at the bottom, like I was talking about last week, and actually do a super move.
It's like Chrono Trigger,
with
right?
All 3 of your
combo
with your party, and it's pretty cool.
Combo breaker.
We've seen Bowser around. He's been kind of gathering his minions, talking about trying to take back his castle. And then you see him again, and he lost some people, and he's still talking about how he can't let anybody know that he can't get his castle back, and he's afraid that if people find out, he won't be feared anymore. And so you wind up trekking down, trying to find Peach, and she's in Booster's castle. Booster's this little scraggly looking Viking dude with this like dumb smiley little face. He's always got his mouth open.
That far. I don't remember that character. It's called Booster.
Let me see.
I'll look it up on here.
Yeah, I'll show. Ah, damn.
It won't.
No,
it won't look good on there.
No!
Oh yeah. I remember seeing that character before.
He's a goofy little dude.
Like a Wario adjacent.
Kind of.
Yeah, he looks very much like Wario. You can
see where he would have been a Wario at some point.
And he definitely kind of acts like Wario. He's very goofy, very dopey.
I think his curtain mini game is still one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. So there's so many times where like he's doing something and he's like, I've got to get away from Mario. And you're right there, and he's like, you help me do whatever this is. Yeah, and
his jumps
like,
weren't.
Yeah. So, he's got Peach up in the tower. She landed from the sky. He says he's gonna marry her. He's, like Cesar said, there's a part where they're talking about rehearsing for the wedding, and he's got a bunch of shy guys that are basically his minions, and he wants to rehearse with these toys that he has up in his room, and they can't find the Mario one, and it's actually up on the shelf. But you heard them. You were actually up there, and you have to run behind these curtains to hide from them.
That's the minigame.
And there's 3 Shy Guys. So he tells one of the Shy Guys, we can't find the Mario doll. He's got to be behind those curtains. Go check the curtains. And the Shy Guy just kind of like goes back and forth and will open a curtain. So you've got to move. And then he tells the second one, okay, no, you go over there and help him. And they open the same curtains. So they just,
cool.
Swap back and forth. And then they add the third one in there, going back and forth and so you're trying not to get caught, and you're, running back and forth. It's pretty funny.
Like a whack-a-mole.
And then he goes, they open every single one except the last one, and then Booster goes over there and opens it. But he winds up taking Peach, running off to a chapel, trying to elope.
Still the ugly Viking dude?
Yes. They lock the castle up, so you have to go in the back way. You wind up going through the kitchen, and you see this giant pink monstrosity of a cake that they're making for the wedding. You go in there into the chapel area, and they kind of drag Peach up the aisle, but she loses a bunch of her stuff. She loses her crown, a shoe,
her accoutrement.
A brooch. She loses she loses 4 things.
I think this is a plot device of some kind.
Yeah, he tells the Shy Guys to grab him real quick because he's trying to get married and be done with it. So you have to run and grab them. There's candles all down the aisle, and the candles are being lit while this is going on.
Is it a platforming section, or is it still turn-based when they're doing that?
No, it's literally, it's just kind of the open world thing. The Shy Guys are running around. They've already grabbed the items, but you have to talk to each one of the Shy Guys and grab the item. And the last thing you have to find is the crown. The crown's kind of hidden, but if you're looking, you'll see where it is. And the game tells you, collect the items, all 4 items, before the candles are lit, and something good might happen. So you collect the items, and then Peach says that she's going to give you a kiss. So one of 3 things can happen depending on the outcome of that minigame. If you do it quick enough, Peach will give you a kiss. If you... I don't know exactly how bad you have to mess up for the other 2 to happen, but the other outcomes are Bowser gives you a kiss.
Interesting.
Or you wind up in the center, and Bowser and Booster are on either side of you and kiss both Marios.
That's the more interesting lore to me. Which one did you get?
I actually got Bowser. And
Bowser
what's funny
smooch.
is every time every time the cutscene is Peach leans in to give you a kiss, and if you get one of the other ones, she leans in and then she goes, "Oh," and runs off, and then the other.
It's almost like, it's almost Final Fantasy. It's almost Final Fantasy 7 Golden Saucer adjacent.
The date at the Golden Saucer.
I remember once I got married, I was like, "What happened? What did I choose? How did I end up on a date?"
I always got Aerith. I don't know.
So at this point, Bowser is in your he's in your party. He's joined you for the adventure because he realizes he needs you to help get back his castle. You take Peach back to the castle. She says that she's going to stay there. She initially wants to come with you, and then she concedes to the other toads, the Chancellor, who says, no, you need to stay here. Okay, well, I'll just go up to my room and rest. And you exit the castle only to have her jump out and parasol down and join your party. So now Peach has joined
she
my
battling.
party. We had to go back to Mallow's grandfather to learn about another star piece, which was on like this. What was it, Star Hills or something like that? I can't remember the area 100%. And that one we didn't have to fight anybody for. Literally, you just kind of go through the area, and as you're looking around, it's on the ground, so you just go and pick it up. So I have 3 or 4 stars now
Of the 7.
Yeah.
Drawn Grave says Barrett is the best date. That's you went on the best date with Barrett. Barrett Wallace.
I guess I asked all the right questions to Barrett.
Treated him right.
I'm looking forward to recreating that in Rebirth.
Is that the appropriate lore for you? That'll be the right telling of that story. Is that you go on the date with Barrett?
Sure. Yeah. Unless you can somehow sneak Vincent in there or something, or Red 13.
Oh, I love Red 13.
No. But I know I've probably missed some story beats in there, but it's definitely a good game. I think even if you're not a big RPG person, the charm in this game alone should have you playing an RPG. It's not really like most other RPGs, and it's just fun. It's just a good game.
Really well written. Stood the test of time. Even with the didn't need a remake, but the remake definitely makes it more accessible on a platform that sold what now 130 million units or something.
Yeah, and I mean people were clamoring to get it added to the online service, but I guess that's why they never did it.
Full-blown
I mean, this
remake.
works. Yeah, this works. Yeah, a faithful one.
I remember when it came to the Wii Virtual Console, how big of a deal that was.
Yeah, they made a song on it. We hear it every time on Twitter.
I haven't watched that in a while.
Dun, 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 dun. Somebody always retweets it on Wednesday. Is it Wednesday?
Ninja Gaiden 1, Ninja Gaiden 2, Ninja Gaiden 3. F-Zero. Something like that.
It's like the guy's like, wait, you already wrote a song to this? Just singing it the whole time.
Hey, the eShop update is already up. What? It's too early.
It's like 11. Was it like 11:30?
Such a good bit.
Right? They usually wait till midnight.
Adventure Island 1, Adventure Island 2. I can't remember. Good stuff. All right, is that it, Brant?
Yeah.
My voice has survived the show. Cesar, you got anything else to add?
Absolutely nothing.
That's it for us. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week, and we will catch you next week. Bye.
See you.
Adios.